Today, we're going to talk about a couple of things, I guess. One is I wanted to show this off again for anyone who may have missed it. If you have missed it, shame on you. Go and acquire it. This is the actual physical book, Mamelukes, which was Jerry Pournelle's last novel. And it is set in his Tran universe. And he had written really the first 2/3 of the book very, very, very completely. And we had his notes for the remainder of the book when his son Phil and I came in to finish it up. So very, very importantly on this one, he had given us the moral of the work, as he called it, which was that the only unforgivable sin is despair. And that really informed how we tried to complete the story that he had not had the time to finish. Jerry was a remarkable, remarkable man, multiple advanced degrees, writing on information technology and God knows what, right up to the day of his death. And this was, in many ways, my favorite of all of his solo series. The books that he and Larry Niven did together, like Lucifer's Hammer and Footfall, the Modis, The Mote in God's Eye, are all fantastic. But this, for me, was quintessential Jerry. And when Tony Weisskopf at Bain told me that I could have a hand in finishing it up, finishing this book up and bringing it to the readership, it was one of the professional highlights of my career, honestly. And there will be additional Tran books that Phil and I will be writing moving on. Phil has Jerry's notes for where he intended to go with that. And we will be continuing the series. We won't be trying to do it in Jerry's voice. He had a very strong writer's voice that was uniquely his. And I think that trying to reproduce it would be restrictive. And it still wouldn't be him. I think you can have a writer who continues posthumously and maintains the voice of the series. But I think for that to happen, in most cases, not all, in most cases, in order for that to continue, the person who's continuing really needs to have been a co-author for 3 or 4 books before the senior partner or the other partner's death. Otherwise, there's always something just a little bit off. And the harder you try to reproduce the voice of the original storyteller, the more you're creating, the living dead in a way, because you're not them. And Jerry deserves to remain inimitable because he was. So as Phil and I continue, we will be continuing in our own voice, but we will be doing it while being absolutely as respectful as we can be of the existing characters. And Phil and I working together, I think, will have a natural voice that will be closer to Jerry's than it would be to either of us alone. But it still won't be Jerry. But this book is really, really important to me. So I just thought I would bring that up and plug it and tell if you haven't bought it, go buy it. If Tony had told me, we'd really like you to help us out with this, but we can't pay you anything at all for it, I'd have said, sure, sign me up. Just because I loved the original books in this series so much. And it was so important to me to see this part of the story completed. Jerry worked on it for a long time, kind of on a back burner, but in part it was on a back burner because it was so important to me, if you see what I'm saying. Anyway, having said that, this one came out, when did this one come out? A couple of months ago now. Ooh, okay, April is the copyright on it. I know they can't come out that long ago. I have the Valkyrie Protocol with Jacob Holo coming out in October, so that's next month now. And then I have a short story in Rob Hampson's The Founder's Effect, which is coming out in December. And then in January, Tor is releasing Into the Light that I did with Chris Kennedy. And sometime, I think, second quarter of next year, they gave me the date, I just can't remember what it is. The first of the books in what I'm thinking of as the Murphyverse, which is it's the prequel series to In Fury Born, about Terrence Murphy and the creation of the Terran Empire. I'm writing those with Richard Fox, and I think that's coming out like second quarter of next year. And Eric Flint very shortly will be getting me his portion of the manuscript for the next Honorverse novel, which I think is scheduled for October, November of next year. So there's stuff in the pipeline. I'm just not used to it being so much stuff that I'm doing with other people rather than solo work.